2026 is right around the corner, and with all the changes going on recently, all these new premium travel credit cards, some getting refreshed and some new ones entering the market, I wanted to share what's exactly in my wallet as we look ahead to the new year. And as someone with now nearly 20 credit cards, I'll give you some explanation behind which of these cards I do carry on a daily basis and why. So not wasting any time, let's take a look at the card that I carry on a daily basis. This is a very thin wallet from Code 118 is the company. And I bought the MagSafe version for a reason that I'll explain here in a bit. But right up front, you guys can see there, I have the American Express Gold Card. Now, this is a card that I've really raved about on my channel and all the value that I'm able to get out of this with just the credits alone. But when you take into account its spending multipliers, this is maybe the most valuable card that I hold in my wallet and gets used on a near daily basis. So when looking at the actual credits on this card, you do get $100 to use at Resi restaurants, $50 semi-annually. You're also getting $10 per month in Uber Cash. Now, I use Uber almost every week. The $84 Dunkin' credit, which is $7 monthly, is a bit of a laughable amount, but quite frankly, as much coffee as I drink and how frequently you can find a Dunkin', that gets used every single month, whether it be at the actual coffee shops or just reloading my Dunkin' account with $7. This card also has a $10 monthly dining credit, which can be used at Grubhub, Cheesecake Factory, or Five Guys. That does not get used every month, but the main reason that I carry this every single day is for its best-in-class spending multipliers when it comes to the food categories of giving you 4x back on both dining and US supermarkets. So when plugging in my spend and really working out all the numbers with this card in terms of the credits that I'm using, but really just from the spending alone, you can see that I'm estimating I'm going to earn 100,000 membership rewards points just from my organic spend. That does not include the sign-up bonus that I got on this card. That is so much value that could offset the entire annual fee by itself of $325. But considering that I can actually use some of the credits in just my organic spending, this card is really one of, if not the best, that I currently have. So next up here, we have what I have loosely considered the best premium travel credit card, that is before the Amex Platinum card got its recent refresh, the Bonvoy Brilliant. So just like the Amex Gold card, it has no foreign transaction fees, and oftentimes they run multiple elevated sign-up bonuses throughout the year. So when I first applied for this, I got the highest ever welcome offer of 185,000 Bonvoy points. And while its spending multipliers are not great, granted, the 6x that you can earn on Marriott properties is actually more like 21x when you take into account some of the benefits, which I'll touch on here in a second, of actually being a Platinum Elite member. You can earn a ton on this card if you are primarily spending cash on your Marriott stays, but some of the benefits with this card is where it really sets itself apart. And I think that's the case for most, if not all, of these higher tiered premium travel cards. This one lands at $650. Getting down to some of the credits with this card, and one of the things that really drew me to this is really the simplicity that this card offers, especially again for a higher tiered card to offer just really one main credit, that being a $300 dining credit, which is $25 monthly. That's the main reason that this stays in my wallet. Once per month, I'll pull this out, maybe on Chipotle or something like that. Just spend as close to that $25 amount that I can. But also, it's jam-packed with a ton of other benefits. The two main ones that I really like are the Platinum Elite status that this card comes with. Now, Platinum Elite status can grant you a ton of different perks when staying at Marriott properties, but the main one is your eligibility to actually receive upgrades, or even now suite upgrades at that Platinum level. Recently, going back to the middle of 2025, there was a slight change to the different terms from the Marriott Bonvoy program, where now you are actually eligible as a Platinum Elite member to potentially receive upgrades at Ritz-Carlton properties. So given that we are staying at 2 different Ritz-Carltons for our honeymoon, I'm hoping that at least one of those we will end up getting upgraded, all thanks to the Bonvoy Brilliant. The other benefit that just guarantees that you're going to offset the annual fee every year if you do decide to hold this past just year one is the free night award that you receive once you pay your second annual fee. So after your first full year of holding the card and you decide to renew into year 2, you receive an 85,000 point free night award, which can be topped off with an additional 15,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. So I like to place a dollar value of right around $500, considering that Marriott Bonvoy points are, according to the points guy, only at 0.7 cent per point value. However, I think just from my short research in this credit card game, I have no issue finding typically anything above a 1.0 cent per point redemption. Just with a very conservative estimate, I find this card very easy to offset its annual fee. and just all the benefits that I get from being a Platinum Elite member are essentially just cherry on top. The next card that I'll pull out here is the Bilt MasterCard. Now this one is very straightforward. It does not get a ton of use, or a ton of spend, I should say. It's mainly used to be able to earn 1x back on rent, which before I ended up applying, I never was able to use that spend to actually earn points with. So I think this card is great. I think it stacks up against a ton of other no annual fee cards and potentially does come out on top. Even here late into 2025, who knows what's going to come with Bilt 2.0, but we will sort of reassess when that time comes. The reason this stays in my daily credit card wallet is for its 5 transaction minimum that you need to hit every month to be able to actually earn those points on your rent spending. But we will see again when the updates come out in January of 2026 with the Bilt card, but for now, it's staying in my wallet. So next up here in my everyday wallet is my Chase Freedom Unlimited. Now, this has very quickly become my catch-all card over the last 6 months or so. Now, I do have the American Express Blue Business Plus as well, which does actually give you 2x on every purchase. Granted, it is capped at $50,000 per calendar year. Having made a mistake with that Blue Business Plus, that one is on ice. But I've really loved just having a very consistent way of earning Chase Ultimate Rewards points, which I value at the same level as Bilt Rewards and also American Express membership rewards. So a very good card to just make sure that you're constantly earning those UR points, especially now that it is a lot harder in terms of different sign-up bonuses to actually be earning those points that way. All right, so the very last personal credit card that I carry in my everyday wallet is going to be the Wells Fargo Attune. Now, I did want to spend just a couple of minutes on the Wells Fargo Attune and explain how and why I love this card so much. Since I've applied just a few months ago, I've gotten a ton of cashback value out of this card. It is a no annual fee credit card, and it came with a $100 sign-up bonus. But really the main reason I wanted to apply for this card was the fact that it earns 4% cash back on florist payments. So just about a month before our wedding, we had a big invoice sitting there from our florist, and I just wanted to take advantage of that spend. This was actually the final card that we ended up applying for before the wedding. There's so many categories with this card that just make too much sense given where I'm already spending a ton of my money. So things like the entertainment category, granted, we're not buying tickets a ton of the time and going to a bunch of concerts and games, but when we do, we can now use this card to earn that 4% back on that category. The self-care category, like I said, everything near the city of Boston, especially things like even just my men's haircut, but especially for her getting her nails done and getting her hair done, there is a ton of money that we spend in that category as well. So earning 4% back instead of just putting it on my catch-all card like I was before with the Freedom Unlimited, with that only earning 1.5x back, I would have to get over a 2 cent per point value when redeeming my Chase Ultimate Rewards points to be able to earn anywhere near what I'm getting with the Attune. Now, this does also offer 4% back on streaming, which is great because both myself and my wife hold the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Is only getting used on streaming services where it does earn 3x back. So now we do sort of have the freedom to end up either canceling or product changing those Sapphire Preferreds to now just have a card that we could fall back on if we want to put our streaming spending there. But really the main 2 categories that I wanted to talk about was the sporting goods and also the hobbies category. I am an absolute golf junkie. I spend way too much money on both golf equipment and also on public golf courses. So when I went and looked at my 2024 spend on golf, and then I plugged in a 4% value. So over the next 12 months, I'm going to earn a ton of incremental cash back that, again, I was just previously putting on different catch-all cards. Within the hobbies category, if you actually look on the Attune website, and that goes for really all these spending categories that you're seeing on the tool here, a lot of these almost have sort of subcategories that this card can give you 4% back on. And within hobbies, you will find that one of them is bookstores. Now, shout out to Rich with points for this. I saw this in one of his videos, and I think someone else as well. So apologies to whoever else may have mentioned this. Through sort of, I guess, a loophole, you could call it, is Amazon, for whatever reason, through Wells Fargo, still does code as technically a bookstore, which is how the company first got started. So this Attune card does actually earn 4% back on Amazon purchases. Now, I've tested this. I haven't had any issue or any occasion where I've only earned 1% back. The only thing I haven't tested is my actual subscription fee and charging that to the Attune card to see if that would code as 4%. So if you've tried that in the past and maybe it has or hasn't worked for you, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. So that actually does it for all the credit cards that I carry. Now, I do also carry my corporate American Express green card for my full-time job and obviously my driver's license. But as we sort of get into part 2 of my wallet, I guess you could call it. Now, this is just a little magnetic attachable wallet that I'll carry really anytime I'm traveling. So in here, I have my brand new personal platinum card with, of course, the mirror finish. I've been loving this card so far. The credits on it, when it did get refreshed, just only worked in my favor. I'm getting a ton of positive value from those. And things like the Delta Sky Club access is huge. I prefer to fly Delta as much as I can, especially for my full-time job. Whenever I have the option, I will fly Delta. And that 10 visit cap that they have on the Platinum card is almost kind of the sweet spot. I think I visited 9 Sky Clubs last year. So moving into 2026, this is just a great card and even better than the Business Platinum, which I previously held. Sort of a perfect segue into the next card as well. My Delta Platinum card, mainly only just carry this if for whatever reason I need to make an in-flight purchase. Maybe I'm feeling like a couple drinks or something like that. I'll charge that to my Delta Platinum card, where I'm not only earning on that spending the 3x, but I'm also getting 20% back for in-flight purchases. So the only other 2 cards that I actually carry in this wallet as well when I do travel is my Chase Ink Preferred card. Now this earns 3x back on all travel purchases. That's really all this card does get used for, but I'd say we use it quite a bit given that, you know, both of us like to ski and we like to do a lot of just one-off overnight trips. And for those, we like to always kind of stay in an Airbnb, especially around those ski mountains way up north in New Hampshire or Maine, and just hunker down for a night is great. And that's what we'll use this card for. And then I've also got my SoFi debit card in here. Now, literally never gets used, but if for whatever reason I need some extra cash, I have this with me to be able to take that out from any ATM. I've loved my SoFi checking and savings account so far. I did end up applying through Rakuten to earn an incremental 45,000 membership rewards points at the time. So SoFi and Rakuten have a great partnership. So if you are considering applying for a SoFi checking and savings account, make sure you either check out my referral link down below, or if you're on the Rakuten platform, make sure you check that out because you can earn huge bonuses that way. The only other things that I have in here that I will always carry, it kind of just has 2 information to show you, but I have my health insurance card as well as my dental plan card. So that about does it for everything that I have in my wallet. I won't bore you guys with my backup wallet and all the cards that I do not carry. There's a ton in there that I have just simply for the benefits. Now that I've been into this credit card game for just over a year, I'm starting to really look at all the cards that I added, again, mainly for the sign-up bonuses with our wedding spend. I need to now consider which cards are going to remain in my wallet, which ones I need to cancel or product change. So a lot of interesting stuff is going to be happening here on the channel. A great free way to support is, of course, liking this video, subscribing down below. I'd really appreciate it. It helps get this visible to more people out there. I'm just trying to help people learn from my own journey. So if you do decide to do so, I really appreciate it. If you are looking for other ways to support, I do have brand new merch on my website, thejordanrulesforcredit.com. And if you do want to end up using any of the referral links and you want to apply for any of the cards that I showed you in this video, I'll leave those down there as well. If you guys want to see me break down some of the cards that I mentioned in this video in just a bit more detail, make sure you check out one of the videos that I'll leave on the screen here. In the meantime, I just appreciate all you guys clicking on and watching the video, supporting the channel, however you decide to do so. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.